What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wordcast, the weekly podcast where we sit down with you to talk about what's going on here at the Word Productions, go over video game news, chat about survival horror, machinima, and more. I'm one of your hosts, Shaun Clark. With me today is Jazz Rich.
Hello.
And Shayla Hill.
Hi.
As always, you can find the Wordcast on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Word Productions, and on Google Play. So, Jazz, how was your week?
It was good.
Do anything special? Do anything Halloween-y?
I looked at costumes at the store and then decided I didn't have money for that. So instead I came back to my computer and made videos.
Made your own costume out of a bed sheet?
Oh, I did try to draw like Resident Evil characters in costumes, but like my drawings don't go further than stick people, so it was complete failure.
Wow.
I might post it at some point just to show you.
I love the stick figures.
Oh, they're so bad.
They're so good.
They're ultra detailed stick figures.
They're better than the real
They have
drawings
genitalia.
sometimes.
It's true. Well, not the genitalia part.
But that's the best part.
Whoa.
No, I was great to Jazz.
Late night wordcast.
Rated XXX.
Wow.
For stick figure nudity.
Stick porn.
Wow. Wow.
Isn't most porn stick porn, if you think about it?
We need to move away from this.
So how
Barry.
how about you, Shayla? Anything spooky to report?
Gosh, I haven't been. Halloween's like my favorite, but I haven't been doing a whole lot because I've been working a lot. But I did go see Venom, and of course, I mentioned earlier to you guys I was going rewatching all the Harry Potter movies in the theater.
It's not Halloween-y.
Well, from what I hear, Venom's pretty horrifying for different reasons.
I thought it was horrible, but I actually really enjoyed it.
That's what I keep hearing. Like it's a terrible movie, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I really liked it.
So
Venom,
like the actual Spider-Man movies.
You watch your goddamn mouth.
Are you a Tobey Maguire fan?
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
I actually really like Homecoming. I like Tom Holland Spider-Man.
I haven't even seen those.
Yeah, the new one's really good.
Really good.
And the old ones, like you go back to the old ones and they didn't age very well.
Yeah. They're so
but
cheesy.
At the time they were so good, and they're still entertaining, but it's probably kind of like Venom. Terrible, but good, but fun to watch. Good times.
Like real Venom.
Horrible. Yeah. It definitely had that kind of like. I think some people were probably disappointed because they were expecting more something along the lines of like Spawn, like dark and evil and brooding, but like Venom's actually kind of goofy. So like when they saw this kind of like goofy, I mean it's still dark. He's still an anti-hero, but it's like I think
villain
off put by the fact that it was kind of goofy and cheesy, and it's like it's based on a comic book character, and they kind of went with the more like silly stuff that actually happened. Like there's a scene that's kind of goofy.
Spoilers.
Think about it. But it did actually happen in the comics, so I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot, even though it's bad.
You mentioned Spawn. Did you know that they're remaking the movie?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was some good names attached to it, but I can't remember who it was. But I really, really hope that they do a good job with that. I think they had a potential actor for Spawn, and I think they had a director, and I think they were two good choices, but I can't recall. But I hope they do it justice. I like the first one, even though I mean, again, it's probably super duper dated. Oh my God. But when it came out, like, it was a good movie.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I liked it. I mean, I don't know. It was bad, but I don't know. Spawn was just so cool at the time.
What happened to Spawn? Like he just
So-
disappeared.
He respawned.
If I'm being 100% honest, I don't know Okay, so I don't know for sure, but in my opinion, I think it's because Todd McFarlane got more concerned with like merchandising and realized that made him money with like no effort. So like, not to say that it's no effort, but it's more like if he put in effort into making money as opposed to making comics, he made even more money. Like, I mean, he was a really smart businessman. I mean, the whole concept of Image Comics was a bunch of comic creators realizing, like, actually, this goes back to it. What's interesting is the Venom character became most popularized when Todd McFarlane was drawing him and writing, or well, I think it was a different writer, but like Venom was like a symbiote suit first, and then he attached to Eddie Brock, and people really, really liked the character Venom. He got his own miniseries, and he like kind of blew up for a while. And it was kind of because of Todd McFarlane, his design, that made that character popular, but he has no control or no rights over it. That happened a lot during that time where like there's these creators like Joe Madureira that were like popularizing Marvel characters, but they had no, like, ultimately, since they are Marvel kind of like, they didn't get to have anything of their own, so they went off and made their own properties like Spawn, Witchblade. Mark Silvestri, who also used to work on Venom, made The Darkness, and that way they could have control over their own characters that they created. And like, I think some of them, like Todd McFarlane, just got way too like, I don't know. He just like sold movie deals and TV deals and action figure lines and oh my god, he went crazy with like all that money and lawsuits. And
yeah, I think it was mainly like you said, merchandising. I think he kind of just started doing figures, and that kind of took over his life, which I'm sure made him ass loads of money. So it was probably the right move.
Although he did get involved in a couple lawsuits because like,
yeah.
You know about how like Angela is part of Marvel Universe now and not the Spawn universe?
No, I didn't know that. That's weird.
So one of the bases of Image Comics was that if you created a character, no matter what series it was in, it gave artists more control over the characters they created. And if I remember right, I think Neil Gaiman technically created Angela. It was either Neil Gaiman or someone else. There was another artist that created Angela for Spawn, but he made it. So, like, he actually technically had the rights to his character and could do whatever he wanted with Angela, because she was technically, even though she was originally in issues like Spawn issue number 9, it because of the way Image operated about giving creators control over the characters that they created, despite what series it in, there was some kind of loophole where they kind of went back and forth, like, no, it's my character, no, it's not, no. And eventually, like, the guy who created Angela got to keep Angela. Thus, she made the move to Marvel, and now she's actually part of the Marvel universe, which is kind of
where she was
cool.
Never used again.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, because Angela's fucking awesome. She was like my favorite in Spawn. The Angels in general, but like the Angela issue is where I was like, ooh, I want to fucking read a comic.
Did you ever play that Spawn game on the Dreamcast?
Yeah, actually, for what it was, I thought it was pretty
I liked it a lot when it came out. I hate you. I wish I had. Well, actually, you know what? I think I do have it. I just don't have the box or anything. I just have the disc. But yeah, I love that game.
Didn't they make like a heavy metal one that kind of played like that too? Wasn't there like a Faku or whatever the heck that chick?
I think so.
Was in it. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Either way, yeah, that game was fun.
I think, you know what? I think that was supposed to come out on Dreamcast, and it might have got canceled, because that does sound familiar.
Lame.
Yeah. But yeah, so my week was solidly average. If you recall last week, I mentioned how GameStop screwed me out of my Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Collector's Edition. But
What happened with that?
luckily, I went to Walmart and they saved the day.
Walmart.
It's funny because I talk shit about them and everything. But yeah, they had it on their website, so I ordered it there, and it should be here today or tomorrow. So yay.
Yeah, but that
sucks.
Wow.
That was just karma, Shaun. Like, fuck Walmart.
Maybe, yeah, I agree. Fuck Walmart. But still, I'm happy that I got the damn game. And also, fuck GameStop. They can burn in hell. But yeah, so alongside of that whole situation, I've been slaving away working on videos. I got a ton of Let's Plays out there. Still got Clock Tower and Resident Evil 7 coming out, and then trying to wrap up 3 special projects I have going on for the Halloween event, and that's pretty much been my week. Pretty exciting. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into what we've been playing. Shayla, what have you been playing?
Oh my god, I'm not doing
Let
this
me
again.
guess. Does it start with an M?
Maybe.
Is it 2 words?
Shout out to Rain and Usagi for helping me beat Arc Lunestra, though.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's Monster Hunter.
Wow. Are you almost done with it?
Sort of. Well, Arcs are...
That was a loaded question. Like, you can't answer that. It's never going to be over.
As long as Capcom continues to release content and new monsters and new difficulties.
Well, that's the problem. It's a games as service, and we're going to talk about that later, but fuck that. So, what about you, Jess?
What I've been playing?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I love that game.
It's the best game.
I got so far in that game.
Except for I never remember it.
Yeah, like every level you hit, you forget, and then you have to do it all over again. But then there's no actual levels because it's a fake made-up game that we just made up now. So, like, you can never actually achieve your goal.
Like, every time you play it, it's completely different.
Isn't that Amnesia?
Yeah, but like not the game itself, like actual Amnesia.
Yeah, I didn't mean literally.
I know Amnesia, the sequel. Get hit in the head. I actually no, that's not true. I've been playing more of Echo, like I said, some time ago. I don't remember which one it was, but I mentioned that. I got further, and I'm starting to sort of understand the point of the game, and it's getting really creepy. And then I've been recording more that other game. Goddamn names
with
for
the baby.
games. Yeah, the baby game.
Among the Sleep, isn't that?
Yeah,
what
that. Yeah. Among the Sleep, and I did what you suggested.
I like that better.
The little baby jazz game. I went back to Detroit Become Human and took completely different paths, like you suggested, to see how it's gonna end. But then my PS4 froze, so instead I went on Until Dawn and just tried to kill everybody.
Oh, it's funny because I can't believe when we were talking about like story-based games that I didn't bring up Until Dawn because that game is awesome.
The game is terrifying.
I didn't think about that either.
That would be the perfect Halloween game to play because it's just like you know the part, I don't know how far, but like, you know, there's some parts where you have to hold your controller and it's like, don't move, and you're just like, what? And you stop moving, and like the heart beats and you're like, what happens if I move? And then you just like barely move and something's like blah, blah.
Yeah, particularly at the end of the game. No spoilers, but
I was so mad.
Yeah. I fucked that part up on accident. Like, I just barely shifted, and yeah, I fucked up.
I sneezed. I had my controller in my hand, and I was like, oh, this is easy. And then I'm like feeling it. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. I hate it.
That sucks because there's nothing you could do about that. It's just like, oh, I'm fucked.
Just gotta start over.
I actually, my first, like, my blind playthrough of that game, I streamed on Twitch. So I have, like, all of it. But, like, that game, oh my god, that game was so fucking fun.
I think my first play, I saved like 3 people. Maybe.
I saved everyone except for the character that I liked the most, and I was so upset. No, there was 2 characters that I liked. No.
There's not really spoilers to this game unless you say the story, right?
Huh?
Yeah, pretty much, because I think everyone can die, so it's like...
I was just thinking of that when Shayla started, and I was like, oh no, spoilers, and I'm like, wait, there's not really a spoiler unless you, like, say what's gonna happen.
At least, so, like,
yeah.
That's what's so cool about it, though, is that there can be, like, I don't know, that game was really good.
Like, you just... I wouldn't tell somebody what the monster is or what the bad guy is or anything.
Yeah.
But you can say, like, 3 people died. Like, this guy died. Well, everybody dies if you do something bad, so it doesn't really...
Like, there was one character that I liked right away.
Is it Sam?
No. Well, I like her, too.
I kept calling her Claire.
But it was so funny because I really liked Josh. And then I was so upset when I thought something... When I, like, I did the thing where I accidentally... Like, I got him like... Maybe that's the only way it happens, but, like, I had to choose to saw him in half, and I was so upset. And I almost was like, I don't want to play anymore. And then I like...
That's a spoiler.
No, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can get them killed. Like, if you survive one way...
No, there is, but that's still a spoiler.
Yeah.
Watch your goddamn mouth.
The game is, like, super old. Come on. Like, if you haven't played it by now, then... Come on.
Hey, the Titanic sank.
Just put, like...
How dare you?
Like, when you upload this, just put, like, spoilers...
That's the title of the episode right there.
Spoilers.
Episode 4, spoiler alert.
Spoilers!
Get fucked.
Spoilers.
Darth Vader is Luke's dad.
Wow. Oh my god. I was just watching that movie. How could you?
How could I?
I've been waiting 30 years to watch that. Or when did that come out? I don't even know.
40. I think it's like 40 years old at this point.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I have been playing Soul Calibur 6. Yay.
Oh, that came out?
Yeah, it came out today. Or yesterday.
I saw somebody post... I kind of had a feeling it was out because I saw somebody post a video of somebody made...
It came out a few days ago.
Somebody had... somebody made like a wolf man or something, so basically it looked like a furry, and then gave it like a giant dong and balls, and made it like Voldo, so that it was like humping the air with this like giant like, baseball-sized wiener, and I was like, oh my god, I need this game. I want to make fucking ridiculous things in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because like you can actually select your like all these different like races. There's like a bunny race and all kinds of stuff. There's like some monsters and like a robot and all kinds of stuff. So that's cool. They did add some cool new things, but so far So I've only put in about 3 hours, and I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. Like, they changed the movesets on the characters again, which kind of breaks them because, you know, you're used to playing them in all the other games, and then, like, there's different pieces of combos and stuff that are different, so it's like you have to relearn them, and some of the new stuff isn't as good as the old stuff, so that's frustrating. The story mode's kind of cheaply done. Like, they did it with stills and drawn art, and there's no voiceover. Yeah, so it's not animated. There's no voiceover.
Okay. That's kind of disappointing because I will say that was one thing that's always kind of been nice about Namco fighting series, is that they were like always really big on doing really awesome cinematics. So that's sort of disappointing.
They've always had high production values, so like that's kind of expected. So to see this, that's really disappointing. Granted, there's 2 story modes. There's one for like the main cast, which I haven't touched. It could be better. The one that I'm playing is specifically for like your custom created character. So still, even with that, it would have been nice. Because like I think it was Soul Calibur 4 where like they put your created character into the cutscenes. And that was 2 games ago. So why the fuck can't they do that now? There's no excuse for it. But
let's be real though. In my opinion, Soul Calibur 3
is the best one. Hands down.
Which one did we play on the Xbox?
We played
with like this tank.
4 and 5.
The gas tank.
Okay, Okay, so here's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. It's we had so much fun with Jazz. That's the only reason I was thinking about getting it, is because like if me anyway. So like 3 was really good because 3 had the most content. It was just like overall 3 was like everything. 3 was so good, and then I felt like 4, other than some cool story aspects and some cool cinemas and a really nice update in graphics, the biggest pull for me on 4 was just that like making crazy customizable characters, and then basically 5 was even worse. Only like it's okay because me and Jazz are just gonna make every character under the sun and fight each other with it. It's funny.
Yeah, 5 was a big step back.
Yeah, way definitely. And 4 wasn't necessarily like bad, but like I think 4 was just like had the shininess of like, ooh, new console, new engine, new like everything.
I feel like 4 was really good. They just dropped the ball on the story mode because coming from 3 that had the best one. Yeah. Since they didn't have that was a huge blow. But outside of that one aspect, I think 4 is probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, it is. I think 3 and 4 are up there. I liked 3 a little bit better. I just felt like it had like the content and the story. And
people shit on 3.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand why. It's by far the best one.
People shit on everything now.
I know.
Yeah,
it's funny.
That's true.
They can't be happy until everybody goes back to Pong.
We'll get there one day.
Even then, the pallets are too big.
The graphics are too good. It's garbage.
This ball looks square. I want my money back.
But then if it has shitty graphics, it's like, these graphics are shitty PlayStation 2 graphics.
I have better graphics on my calculator.
Yeah, that's a problem too. Like the graphics aren't super spectacular either. I feel like it looks like 4. I feel like 5 looks better, which is kind of sad.
You know what's really sad is that's actually why when I saw the Twitter video, I wasn't sure that the new game came out because it just looked like 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And you could actually like they had these like weird cylinders on 5. So people were already doing like the dick and balls thing in 5, so like I just thought it was like a rehash to kind of get hyped for 6. I didn't realize it was actually from 6 because it didn't look that much better.
Yeah, it essentially has the same character creator as 4 and 5, but from what I've noticed, it has less stuff. But so like going back to the story mode for like the character created fighter thing. So another problem with that is like there's just so much fucking text. Like there's too much exposition. Like it's like every time you fight somebody, it's like, oh, exposition, and then the characters talk, more exposition, characters talk again, even more exposition, and they just keep going back and forth. It's like you keep hearing like the thoughts of your character and like over explaining like very obvious things that you already fucking know. There's no point. I shouldn't have to read all this garbage. And then you finally get into a fight, and the fight's like 30 seconds. And then you go right back into the text. And it's like, Jesus. And it seems like it's going to be a really long story, which normally would be good, but not if that's all I'm going to get out of it. It's going to get really tedious and annoying really quickly. And then, like I said, graphics are decent, not great. Character creation, I think you might unlock things, but it's hard to tell because like there's like a handful of items in the character creator that have like a little lock on it that you can unlock it with points. But even counting those items, there's very little to work with. Like there's a lot less items than they had in Soul Calibur 4 or 5. So I'm really hoping that there's going to be more there. If not, then it's really, really disappointing from that standpoint too.
Jazz, I'm so sad. We don't have like we have to pay for Xbox Live because like just talking about it makes me want to go back and like goof around with all those characters.
I need to explain the gas tank thing.
Yeah.
So Shayla was like terrified of Slenderman. Like whenever you would mention Slenderman, Shayla would like shit herself and start screaming like, "Stop talking about Slenderman! I have to go outside!" To the point where like she wouldn't even go out to her car to get something. And then what was it? I like Google Street View map whatever your house. To see what it looked like for no reason. I'm not a stalker. And then
Awkward.
If there's police listening, just edit that last part out.
No. There was actually a reason. Like, we were joking about Googling my house or something.
I think I was gonna like Photoshop Slenderman, but I couldn't get close enough. I could only get like an aerial view. And then in like randomly between the trees in her like yard or whatever, I see this like black and white thing, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so perfect. But it was a gas tank, but it took her a while, I think, to realize what it was. I sent it to her. I'm like, look, shit, Slenderman's already there, and she's like screaming and trying to figure out like, what is that? And then she finds out like, oh my god, it's the goddamn gas tank. So like, I made a character in Soul Calibur, named it Gas Tank, but it was like Slenderman. So when I joined the game and it says Gas Tank, she's like reading the name. She's like, Gas Tank. Oh my! And then she starts screaming. And it was as funny as the Street Pass Slender.
How does a gas tank look like Slenderman though?
I wish I still had that picture.
Well, from an aerial view, all it was like poking out of the trees was just a white dot, like in dark.
But with the little black shadow, so like I could have photoshopped that into like a guy with a suit.
I remember why we were looking up my. I was trying to explain why going out to my backyard was so scary. Is because if you look at you can even see from GPS that I'm surrounded in forest. It's like I don't live in a town or a city. It's just like if you look at my aerial view of where I live, it's just like trees and fucking forests and bluffs everywhere. So it's like
we'll post her address on the comments below.
So yeah, I'm fucking scared of. I was scared of Slender Man being out there because I played the game one too many times. And Jazz,
I think the fear was mostly because of me. It was because of the game.
It's not because of the game. Well, the game freaked me out, and then having to be like alone in the dark all the time was like freaking me out a lot. And I lived in I was staying in a basement where it was scary and like, but it didn't help. But Jazz was always like purposely like between Jazz and Rain sometimes would even do stuff. Like one time we were in a call and like Rain used like his house phone to be all like and do like static over the phone and I was like, shut up, I know it's you or no, I thought it was my other friend, but I didn't know it was Rain and so basically like I was like, Wesker, stop it, and he's like, dude, it's not me, and I'm like, ah! Yeah, you guys were like fucking with me hardcore. That's why I was scared.
It's good times. It's good times.
Well, let's be realistic. Slenderman's not going to kill you. If anything's going to kill you, it's going to be some little girls in the name of Slenderman.
Right?
Or me in my Slenderman costume. Thank you.
Or that.
I have her address. I have a knife. What else?
That was the best. That was the other thing too. Is like Jazz had a Slenderman costume that was really good and would like make videos like scaring me or like be like, hey,
she'd go to the bathroom and come back and my webcam would be on with me just standing there.
And her webcam was it was either her webcam or her internet was so shitty that she realized that she
jeez.
Well,
shots fired.
Wi-Fi.
Listen, she would shake her head or like wiggle, like do the silent
head, oh my god, wiggle, teleport,
and it would make it would basically like create a weird effect because of the like lag, so that like to her she is just shaking her head, but it was creating like weird distortion and stuff, and it was so freaky because she'd be like, hey Shayla, want to see this new map I got on Gmod? I got a Resident Evil map on Gmod. I was like, okay. And she goes and like, she's like, go to my live stream and I'll show it to you. And I go to her live stream and she's just like dressed as Slenderman, shaking her head around, doing the like weird, like, and I'm just like,
It was good. It was good times. I wouldn't take it back.
Poor gullible Shayla.
I know. Chaz loved to terrorize me. And then, of course, all of my people, like my regulars on my live stream would kind of catch on to it. So, like, everybody kind of just, like, found ways to, like, fuck with me, whether it be, like, calling me and doing static or, like, going, like, doing the grudge thing or, like, just, like, fucking weird shit like that. People loved messing with me. Like,
Yep.
And then
one
go
more
ahead.
thing.
Yeah.
It got so bad that I used to work third shift at a hospital as an operator. It got so bad that when a little girl tried to prank call me, I was like questioning whether it was my friends or not, because she was like, hi, do you like scary movies? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, which one of you was it? And everyone's like, no.
So was it just some random person, or was it something
I think
you
it
know?
was just some random little girl or some random teenager doing like trying to do the scream thing, like
Wow.
trying
That's
to
kind of awesome that it was somebody random.
right?
It was a real killer.
Yeah. They were
It
trying to
probably
find
was
you,
just-
they just
well-
couldn't.
Well, I did work in Wisconsin, so maybe it was the little Slender Man girls. It was
Yeah,
around-
there's your fucking full circle again. Every episode we do a full circle. It comes back to the little girls.
Yeah. Oh, damn it.
All right. So, and then as far as like what I've been playing, I'm trying to get the last couple of trophies on Street Fighter 5 and hating my life while I do it.
Oh my god.
What's that?
Forever.
I'm never going to complete that game, but I'm going to try. And then finally I got a PS Vita and I picked up Silent Hill Book of Memories because I hate myself.
That's awesome that you have a Vita though. Like, oh, it's actually really disappointing that the Vita didn't do well because as far as like handheld like hardware goes, the Vita is the best handheld like gaming system.
Well, I mean, not anymore. The Switch is better.
Oh, if that counts, yeah. I didn't realize that counted.
But yeah, Silent Hill Book of Memories, it's actually not all that bad. It's just like, it just very slightly resembles a Silent Hill game, but it really isn't. Like, the only thing that is attached to Silent Hill is the name. Like, other than that, it's basically just like a dungeon crawler, which is fucking
I was gonna
weird.
say, isn't it a Diablo type game?
Yeah, very much so. Like Diablo, Baldur's Gate, that kind of games. Which, like, what the fuck? Like, that's one of the last things you're going to think of when you think, oh,
Right.
Silent Hill, let's make a fucking dungeon crawler? What?
Yeah.
That's like saying, oh, what should we do for the next Silent Hill game? Let's make a fucking racing game.
Yeah, but I feel like games like those were probably originally just pitched as like they probably even intended for it to be like its own thing. And like I feel like those kind of games are just like, hey, if we brand it as Silent Hill, then it'll get more sales.
No, I think they ran the franchise into the ground in Japan, and the normal games weren't doing very well in the US. So they were like, oh, well, what can we do to appeal to the US market? Oh, well, that market likes this kind of game. Let's try that.
Weird. Either way, I do want to play. I actually want to try it. But...
It's weird. Like when you start a map, you talk to one of the monsters. They fucking talk to you, and it gives you a quest.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's like one of the quests is like you have to escort a fucking dog to the end, and if you do it for the demon, he gives you a reward. It's fucking weird. It's the weirdest shit ever. But I mean, it's as long as you can kind of detach yourself from like it being a terrible Silent Hill game and just enjoy it for what it is, it's actually not too bad.
That's cool. I was kind of curious about it.
You should get it. We can play it. It'll be great.
Actually, I wouldn't mind picking that one up. I have a...
I mean, you should, since the Vita's dead. I mean,
Right?
they're all going to fall into obscurity, so...
Actually, this is probably like the prime time to strike to get like all the Vita games really cheap while you can. And
yeah, that's kind of why I got mine, because like they're not manufacturing them anymore, so they're going to start disappearing for one.
Yeah.
And then the games, like they're not making games anymore, so need to pick those up while I still can.
You know, it's funny because like I guess now the Switch does this, but like I mean, even the Vita had some really cool features that if more games had used, it would have been awesome. Like the fact that I used to be able to like play Dragon's Crown and then transfer, like upload my data and then go to work and play Dragon's
the cross save.
Yeah. Like
Well, I mean, the Switch doesn't need to do that because the system itself is the portable device. So it doesn't matter how you play it. You're going to have your save file anywhere.
So is the Switch like legit actually just like portable?
Yeah, the
It's
hardware is a portable system. Like it's basically it's essentially a handheld with a dock, kind of like the PlayStation TV for the Vita. It's essentially the same thing, but it's all packaged together.
Gotcha.
So like the dock allows you to connect to a TV, but it's really just a handheld device.
Did you get the PlayStation Vita TV or whatever?
No, it sucks.
I did too.
I saw it at Walmart like, I don't know, like a year ago, maybe not even, maybe like 8 months ago. And the shit was like $20. And I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a Vita. I don't care. And
That's
like,
when
I just figured they'd be super cheap. You know, the Vita was dying. I could just pick it up for nothing later. And now they're going for $100.
Oh,
used.
damn, now I'm glad I got mine.
Yeah, so I'm probably never going to get that. And plus, it's not even fully compatible. Like, there's some games that don't work for it and shit. So, like, I'm not going to spend $100 on something that's functional.
Say, if I didn't buy it on clearance, I'd be super pissed off. Because let me just say, it completely, because you know, me and you are like, we like to buy everything physical version. The fucking TV is for digital.
Not exclusively, right?
I'll have to go look at mine again, but I'm pretty sure
it runs from your Vita to the box to the TV, so you should be able to put a game in there.
No, see, that's what I thought it was, but I'm pretty sure it's just a way to play. It's like its own system.
Well, I think it's that too. I don't know. You should look into that and let me know. I thought it was both.
I'll go open mine up and like do a like, you know, a proper like here's what it is or whatever.
Yeah,
but
do a video. Get some content on your fucking channel.
When I opened it and I popped it open and wanted to try it, and I was like, oh, where do I put my games in? Where do I put the memory card in to like play the games? And I couldn't figure that out. And then I was like, where does it attach to my Vita? And my friend was like, that's not how it works. It's just you can buy Vita games on the digital store and play them.
Yeah, that's weird. Let me know what you find out.
Yeah. Because basically my entire library of Vita games is mostly, with the exception of the ones I got free from PlayStation Plus or ones that are digital only, all of my, if it came out physical, I bought the physical version.
You make me proud.
So if the Vita, so when I found out from what I've seen of the one I have so far, there's no way to actually like play the physical games, which means like 90% of my library is like unplayable on my Vita, my TV Vita or whatever. So
Jazz is just like, what's a Vita?
Yeah, I'm just here drinking my lemonade. PlayStation.
All right.
I have a portable Super Nintendo. I'm happy with what I have.
That's amazing.
That thing is really cool, Jazz.
What?
That thing is really cool.
It is. I brought it to a convention and people are just looking at me like, because you put the actual cartridge in there. And they're like, what the hell are you playing?
So it's like well, I guess you wouldn't know because you're a fucking anti-Sega person. But it's like the Nomad. The Nomad does the same thing.
Wow. I know what a Genesis is.
You don't know shit.
You scan things with it, right?
But basically, yeah, it's a Nomad. She has a Super Nintendo Nomad. That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finally get into some news. We're running behind like we always are. We're 40 minutes in and we haven't even started the news. But so we're just going to have to trim some of this down, which is fine.
Telltale sucks, the end.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I wanted to start off with the fact that there's finally no new Telltale news to report on, but then I found some.
No!
Luckily, it's brief and kind of positive, but a little insulting. So, Skybound CEO Ian Howie stated that the plan for finishing The Walking Dead, the final season, is to have the team staffed 100% by former Telltale staff. The story will not be changed and will conclude the way that it was intended to. He says, quote, "The process of developing the narrative isn't changing. There's a long-standing collaboration between the writers and Skybound over story approval, and all the same people will be involved. They're hoping to have episode 3 out by the end of the year." And that's pretty much it. So, I mean, that's all well and good. but then he goes on to say that the door's open to DLC for the game or possibly for new Telltale style games. So I get that this is a different company outside of Telltale, but if they're just going to take over that model and keep moving forward, I feel like that'd be kind of insulting to all the people who were fired from Telltale unless they use that opportunity to give those jobs to those people specifically. Because otherwise, if I was one of those people and I heard that they were going to keep moving forward doing the same games and they're not going to fucking reach out to me, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that sucks. And they just, not to mention all the people they treated like shit when they fucking fired.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's hard to pin this on this new company because, like, they're affiliated with Telltale because of the property, but they're their own company. So, like, if they don't do this, I guess you can't really hold it against them. But the fact that they're taking that structure of game and possibly continuing to do the Walking Dead and similar games, like, it's still kind of a shot at them, you know?
Yeah.
Unless they involve the people that created that in the first place.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of a shitty situation on for both parties. But, I mean, the good news is episode 3 is being worked on, should come out this year, and they are going to finish it. And it's going to be the way that it was supposed to be from the start. So it's not going to get ruined, theoretically.
That's good.
So that's cool. I like Walking Dead. So as a fan of that, I'm glad to see that that's happening. So that's it. No more fucking Telltale. I hope. I fucking hope. So let's move on. Piece of shit. Fucking turning into the Telltale Games podcast.
Welcome to the Telltale podcast where everybody's going to get fired.
And where everybody's going to get fucked.
But then rehired, but then fired again.
Episode 40, or we're just going to be like, Pokemon, like Telltale.
We're just
I
gonna.
thought you meant like Pokemon Telltale.
We're just gonna talk in fucking Telltale.
Yeah.
Telltale. Games.
I used to like the Telltale Heart story, and now it's ruined because of the name.
I don't even know what that is.
The Telltale Heart.
I still don't know what that is.
Oh my god.
Just because you say it twice doesn't mean I'm going to know what it means.
Well, I thought you knew everything about Telltale.
Oh, shit. You're right.
It's completely irrelevant. I think it's in Edgar Allan Poe, where like the heart is under the floorboards, and the guy's like, he's like feeling guilt, and the cops are talking to him, and he thinks he hears the heart beating, and he's like, oh, don't you hear it? It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His own guilt gives himself away.
So the heart in this matter is actually the news on Telltale.
Yeah.
And there is none, but we think there is, so we're like, fuck, do you hear it? Ah!
The news, it won't stop! Ah!
It just keeps coming.
Take me to jail!
It's under the floorboards!
What? It's like a newspaper. In the floor.
What is even happening?
No, you like
I don't know.
You open up the floorboards and there's like a whole bunch of like Telltale games like unopened.
Oh god. All right, so next, Yakuza is doing good in the US, which is fantastic. So Sega announced that Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, sold nearly as well in the US as it did in Japan. So no sales figures were given at the time of the statement, but as of June 5th, 2018, the title has sold between 800 and 900,000 units. So this is a huge turnaround for the franchise in the US. Sales dipped considerably around the release of Yakuza 4 and Dead Souls, to the point that Yakuza 5 nearly didn't even get released at all in North America. Yakuza 5 was released in December of 2012 in Japan and didn't release in the US until December of 2015, 3 years later. I know, because I fucking sat through it and agonized and eventually imported it just for them to release it. But that's a whole nother fucking story. But since the release of Yakuza 5, there have been 4 more Yakuza titles released in the US in the span of 3 years. So that's a really promising thing. So Yakuza's back in the US.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
yeah, you guys got to be real happy.
I thought for sure that shit was going to be dead, and it totally came back.
I mean, honestly, I think that's amazing. Like, between, like, even just things like how Japan had no faith that Monster Hunter would do well in the and it did like amazing, and just like
that is really weird. Like that's been happening pretty consistently where things are kind of dying off in Japan and like blowing up in America.
Yeah, it's
very
great.
weird. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
I'm so happy. Like, I would have never. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I can't. I mean, just the fact that like Yakuza's doing well. If you had asked me, like, a couple years ago, if I would have thought that would ever be a thing, I would be like, yeah, right. I wish.
Oh yeah, I thought for sure 5 was the end.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years. I cannot. Right? I mean, I know the reason they did it was because enough people bitched about it, and that's society now. If enough people fucking complain, we can make anything happen.
Yeah.
But shit, I mean, 3 years, you think they'd just be like, whatever, it's been too long, let's just move on, and then maybe release 6 or something. But it's cool. I mean, I'm glad I'm glad it happened.
Heck yeah.
And now for a negative news story. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's negative for me. I guess it might be positive to some people, but my opinion's the one that counts.
Wow. I'm reading.
That's my philosophy. So, games as service model is thriving according to EA and Activision. So, I don't fucking like games as a service, but apparently it's doing really well. So, Games Daily reported that EA and Activision have grown a combined $79 billion since 2012, and that's been propelled by games as a service style releases. So Activision's value has grown from $10 billion in 2012 to $60 billion, while EA has gone from $4 billion to $33 billion, which is fucking insane. EA has titles such as Madden, FIFA, The Sims 4, and Star Wars The Old Republic to thank for that, while Activision has games like Destiny, Call of Duty, all the Blizzard games, and Activision also receives profit from King, which is the company behind Candy Crush and tons of other like mobile-centric games. So, in my opinion, games as a service they're pretty much ruining the industry because, you know, there's just too many good games out there to play to be tethered to just 1 or 2 ongoing games for like years at a time. I like playing a game, completing it, and then moving on to the next. Games as a service are also riddled with like microtransactions and just bullshit like that. You know, we've let the free-to-play games model take over full-priced retail games. So not only do these games run like $60+, but we have to pay for season passes and DLC and microtransactions as well. Like, it's getting ridiculous. And this would fly before on like mobile games because the base game was free, but that's not the case for full retail games. You know, and this also opens the door for padding in games, which can be essentially game breaking. So the whole thing's just a mess, and somehow we've let it become commonplace. And it's also worth noting that like most games as service or most games as a service titles will like not exist in the future. Like once they're not popular anymore, they disappear. Like the support's going to end, the server shut down, and then you can never play it again. And that just really sucks, especially when you're that invested in a game that you're playing it for years and you're going back to it every day and then it's just gone. Like that's pretty shitty. Like, could you imagine like falling in love with a game like, go say, Resident Evil 4, and then 2 years down the road, it just gets shut down and you can never play it again? Like, that's super tragic.
It makes me think of this, like, imagine, it makes me feel like these poor little kids are going to end up, like, when I was in kindergarten, we watched this, like, slideshow with these like little animals, and I was like super into it, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just they got lazy with it or the teacher didn't want to show it anymore, but like the animals like were falling from a really high distance, and it was like along the alphabet, and like they got to the letter S and they were just like stop, and all the animals like just stopped, and then we never watched any more of the slideshow ever again, and I was like, are they like eternally frozen, and like how what's gonna happen? Like, as a little kid, I was literally like having this crisis. Like,
they're
dead. Another dimension where these animals are just suspended in time forever. but there's more of the alphabet. What's the rest of the story? That's what's gonna happen to all these little kids, like getting into a game, and then like it's just done. It never ends, and they're just like, but what happened? What about Half-Life 3? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, since this is kind of the culture that kids are growing up in, they're not even going to know.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's just going to be normal. Like, games are going to come for a little while, and you're going to fuck around with them, and then they're going to be gone, and there's going to be something new. That's just going to be video games.
Because then they can just sell you a remake and a remake and a remake and a remake. And
yeah, and guess what? By that time, everything's probably going to be digital, and they can charge you whatever the fuck they want for it. Because you can't go to GameStop or Best Buy or whatever to buy it, because it's all going to be digital. And there's not going to be a reason to drop prices on anything.
I mean, okay, so here's my thing. I think it sucks that they're using it in such a, like, in a way to kind of, like, I don't know how to say this. I think the service, like, the service itself actually could be a really good thing and work for a lot of people, and even get
Says the person still playing fucking Monster Hunter.
For people to play more games, to get, like, there has to be some degree of casual market, because, or even things like to non-gamers, because that's how you get people into games. But as long as it, what I don't like about it is it becoming the, like, if it's the only model. But I feel like people are gonna reject it. I mean, if you look at stuff like, what is it? Is it I Am 8-Bit? Or, like, there's some place I went to where I bought, like, a physical copy of Rez on the PS4. And, like, it was a really nice, like, you had an option between a collector's edition, and it has a really nice presentation with, like, holographic covers and stuff. So, like, if there's, like, garbage, and no offense, but, like, sometimes I do end up getting pressured into, like, oh, just buy this new game so we can all play it together. And I don't necessarily care about owning every single game. If we're just gonna play, like, Super Snowball Fight 5 or something for 2 minutes, I wouldn't mind necessarily games as a service. If it's something that we can just all hop on and play together, like, let's try the new thing. As long as it doesn't replace the old thing. I mean, even just down to the fact that, like, we don't necessarily have to waste our time with having, like, mass amounts of tons of money spent on fucking shitty games that are just going to pile up in GameStop, like 50 billion copies of Madden that nobody wants, and you go to a thrift store and see, like, full shelves of the same shit shovelware video games that nobody wants to play anymore. That could be, like, toned down, but games like Yakuza, you have, like, people pre-order and have, like, special, like, games that people care about having nice physical copies that are made for the people, kind of, like, made to order. Like, so, like, I feel like both have a place. I mean, I think as long as it doesn't become, like, where everything has to be, like, a play to service.
But the problem is, though, like, that's, like, they're going to cater to the market, like, whatever has the higher demand. And then when you see numbers like this, where you have two companies that have grown $79 billion in the span of, what, 5 years, that's the market. And then I know digital sales, I think the last year, have become 60%. So there's two cases of the majority going to the games as a service model. I mean, you even, like, one of the biggest games of, you know, forever, which is Call of Duty, unfortunately, has gone to that fucking games as a service model. They removed the campaign entirely. The single player campaign is gone, and they completely shifted into a games as service model. So clearly that's where the market is going, and that's not going to be good, because once everybody, or not even everybody, but once the majority buy into that, things are going to get really fucking shitty for video games as a whole, because, like I said, they're going to be able to control the prices once everything's digital. Like, go shop digital games. Like, I think Resident Evil 6 still goes for like $30 fucking dollars. So, and that's with physical versions around. So when games come out and it's only digital and you can't buy that shit any other way, that shit's going to be $60 or more probably forever. If not for like 5 years, it's going to be really bad. And then I think DLC is going to fucking get worse, and microtransactions are going to get worse. And then the more games that become games as a service, those games as a service games disappear. Like I said before, like eventually anything that's dependent on servers and constant support, once they decide to cut that off, which one day that will happen, it's inevitable, it's not going to last forever, that game's gone.
You say that, but I have sort of hope in humanity that things balance out. Like, I mean,
but look at the numbers. Like, this is, it's a business. It's
look at the Star Wars scandal. I mean, just like, I think people are getting smarter and better about rejecting, like, okay, this is fucked up, this is where we draw the line. I mean, they tried to put loot boxes in Monster Hunter, and everybody was like, no, and they backed down. And I think people are getting to where they are rejecting, like, you know, when they get too greedy, people aren't just going to lay down and take it. I mean, people are going to...
That's the problem, though. Like, when somebody makes a fuck up and they try to do too much too quick, then people notice and they raise a shitstorm, and then it gets fixed. But then they take several steps back, and then they start to implement it slowly, piece by piece, and then we get there anyway, and then nobody fucking notices. It's just like the Xbox One originally. Oh, hey, everything's going to be digitals and licenses and blah, 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 and everybody lost their fucking mind. But at the end of the day, if we look at the Xbox One today, we're pretty damn close to what that was anyway. You put in a game day one, guess what? Gotta update. So they're releasing broken games that we gotta fucking download anyway. So it's like, and it's going to be the same thing with the games of service model and microtransactions. It's like EA fucked up with what was it, Battlefront. Like they fucked that up, and they overcharged, and they put too much padding in there, and everybody lost their minds. So they take a step back, and they're still doing those things. Like, that stuff is in like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it's in the other Battlefield games, and it's in Call of Duty, but in a much lesser degree. And every time they release a new title, it gets a little bit worse. It flies under the radar until, just like today, like free-to-play games used to be free-to-play games, with the exception of you buy microtransactions. Now we're paying $60 for a full retail game, and we're doing the same thing we did with the free games. And everybody's accepting of that.
Okay, let's be honest. Free-to-play games were never free. There's no such thing as a free-to-play game. All free-to-play games are designed with you to tempt you to spend money.
That's true, but the problem is now full retail games that you buy are the same fucking way.
That's true.
Whether you look at DLC or you look at season passes or microtransactions, they're doing the same thing. But the problem is you paid the upfront cost. Why the fuck are they nickeling and diming you beyond that?
I have faith that people are going to wise up, and it might work once or twice. But those things, people aren't going to continually buy that shit. Eventually, like, they're going to have to change, because people aren't going to fucking continue to buy into that bullshit. Or they're going to get better as a service. Because, like, I mean, even I'll admit things like Grand Blue Fantasy and the Dare Suit game that I play. It's like, I mean, those games are supported by players that continually put money into it, so that there's constantly new models being made, new songs being produced, new videos being choreographed, and new content constantly being put in the game. And that's done based on people willing to, like, put the money in and pay like $600 for one character. And it seems ridiculous, and I'm not saying that like all games should be that way, but I mean, these games do cost a lot of money, and to have these games like basically in a model where like people can stay in, like, game developers and creators and artists can stay employed because it's like a constant work in process. I don't want all games to be like that, but I do see how it could be. I mean, it is an interesting model as far as like how games like how there's different ways that games are getting developed. Like, I don't want every single game to be that way. I don't want every single game to be like the play or whatever that. But I don't want all games to be digital. I don't want all games to be a constant development. I do want some games that are like a package, like Death Stranding. Like, I want that game to come out, and I want that to be like a fucking experience.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the problem is they've grown $79 billion because of this model. So like, that's where the market's going to go. That's what the problem is. Like, I agree with some of these games, like Monster Hunter's cool. You know, it's cool to have some games that you get to keep coming back to, but when every game becomes that, how many games are you going to get to play? You know,
but that's the thing. There's always like, I mean, everything, all trends, all like, yes, we might even be, for all you know, we might even be the peak of it. People get sick of it, just like people get sick of everything. Even just like how there's all these people who want Resident Evil to go back to the way it was, or want the old Resident Evil, but like during the time when Resident Evil was peak, people were getting sick of it because every single game had that, like, once Resident Evil blew up and became popular, there were so many games that played like Resident, like there were so many ripoffs that the people were getting sick of it, so they had to do something different. Like, I think it will chill out, just like anything that gets oversaturated.
I hope so.
Global saturation.
A total global saturation.
Oh, this is a debatable subject, so we'll move on. But I hope it gets better. I hope
so too.
I don't like it, is all I'm saying, and I hope that it goes away. So we're kind of at the end of it, but Jazz, did you have any news stories that you wanted to bring to the table?
I did. Okay. So I had, for the last like 3 or 4 episodes, I've been holding on this like outcoming game, kind of like survival horror, and I really want to talk about it. But then today, something more important came up.
Uh-oh.
I went on YouTube. I don't remember what I was gonna go look up, but I went on YouTube.
Was it porn?
And I had no. Well, to me, some would debate that maybe. No, just kidding. You'll understand. So I get in my recommended or whatever videos this fucking video that says like Titanic sinks in real time 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh my
so
god.
I'm like I thought it was gonna be like, you know, the whole last 2 hours and 40 minutes of the ship being like accelerated in this little like program thing. So I click it. The video is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and it's literally like a generated ship video, like hitting the iceberg. And it tells you. No, I did. I might.
You just put it on when you go to sleep.
No. That's not even the good part. Now the good part is I scroll down to look at. I'm like thinking somebody's gonna comment like, "Ha, had some spare time, obviously." And like made this video, and I read, and it says, for our upcoming video game Titanic Honor and Glory, and I'm like, what? So I click the link. Lo and behold, this company, I don't remember what they're called, but this company is making a fucking video game. It is a role-playing action drama set aboard the Titanic, and it's done on Unreal Engine 4. And you're walking around as a passenger on the Titanic, and it's like it's RP, and it's like everything I've ever wanted in life. Like, I don't even need to play hockey anymore.
You just have to survive
all of my time.
It's a survival game.
I was gonna say, Jazz, tell the truth. You made this game, right?
No, are you kidding? I can barely make a fucking video. But this game, like, I'm reading the questions that people are asking and their answers and stuff. So there was a Discord channel, and I joined it just before the podcast. I joined it, and I was like, when is this game supposed to come out? Like, how did I not know about this? And they're like, they announced that it's 2 years. So it's going to be like the longest fucking 2 years ever. From initial investment. And
so it doesn't come out for more than 2 years? Like, once it's funded, then 2 years?
This has been posted for a while, so I think like it should come out within the next 2 years if they don't like lose funding or whatever. But we can
just say goodbye to Jazz.
Did you empty your bank account into this fund?
No. I
We'll
wouldn't do that because I don't trust the internet for stuff like that. Like I don't even do Patreon for like people.
You know what this means, right? It means in order to speak to Jazz, we're gonna have to play the game, go in the game, and she will try to say Jazz, and she won't talk to us. She'll be like, you have to talk to her in character. We'll be like,
you're gonna have to look for Lady Millie McBalls.
Yeah. Miss Millie McBalls.
Mildred McBalls. Hello. You're like, Jazz, we need you to come back to the podcast. And I'm just gonna jump over the side of the ship and be like, I'll never come back. Yeah. But the cool thing is though, if you contribute to the project, because they'll take like donations to help or whatever. I don't know. Apparently, they put your name in the thank you list, and also your name gets put in the in-game passenger list.
Oh, that's cool.
My god.
I can't believe you're not doing this.
Okay,
Right?
well, listen, I don't have money, and I'd rather just like spend money into getting this game if it's not a free game. There's a demo. I downloaded it and I was gonna try to play it, but apparently the demo takes you like it's also available like regular or VR, and it takes you like through the
Oh my god! If they're VR, like literally, Jazz will just be gone.
Yeah,
I don't have VR.
She put on the VR headset and then she just died.
Yeah.
She was
It'll
there
be like
playing
dot
that game
hack.
for a month straight and she just fucking
I'm gonna live
died.
the dot hack life where I'm just gonna like they're gonna find me in my room just drooling like
Pretty much.
Her
dead. And they're gonna be in
family
a
could
coma where I'm
smell
just
her
gonna be
rotting
living.
corpse in her room.
Yeah, they'll be like, you could come out of there at any time. I'll be like, no.
We'll know when that game gets released because Jazz will just disappear. She'll just be gone.
Yeah, I'll be
she
like,
won't say
it's
anything to anyone. She'll just disappear.
I'm playing Monster Hunter. Nope. I'm playing Titanic.
Yeah, and the only way to talk to her will be to be in-game, in character.
Now,
Jazz
I
and-
don't expect there to be anybody out there like me, but if there is, the website is titanichg.com. So like Titanic Honor and Glory, /home or whatever. I guess that's where I am. And it's got all like the information, and I can't stop smiling because I'm already picturing me on this fucking game. Like, I'm gonna do a let's play. You know, what's the worst is somebody asked, like in the frequently asked questions, somebody was like, isn't it disrespectful to make a game based on like the Titanic disaster? And I'm sitting there reading that question thinking like Call of Duty.
There's a game based
Like,
based on
World War
fucking Columbine.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but Columbine and the Holocaust were worse than a ship hitting an iceberg and sinking.
At
Like,
least,
I understand
at least
a lot of
that
lives-
was an accident.
It was the
Or was it? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I think Hitler
Play
said
the game to find out.
This isn't based on like a specific, but I mean, even remember when like the postal dudes were going crazy and they made that really super offensive game named Postal, where you like fucking were a disgruntled postal worker shooting people, and people would be like, "Ow, my legs! I can't feel my legs!" And you like set groups on fire as horror.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, people were really upset about that because there was a game called Postal, and it was basically kind of like making light of the fact that postal workers were going insane and shooting people.
But that was pretty
In
funny.
that game, you could take a cat and shove a gun up its ass and use it as a silencer. Solid gold.
That was Postal 2 for the record.
Oh, my bad. Excuse the fuck out of me.
They waited till the sequel to do that.
Yeah, no cat
cats were
silencers in
harmed
the
in the
first
making of-
one.
Yeah.
You used dogs in that one.
Yeah, so this other game I want to talk about, just not even important anymore. Let's get fucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna play it though.
Titanic rule. What's your other news stuff?
It's called Scorn.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all. Scorn.com or scorn/game.com. No, it's a survival horror where yeah.
Is that the one that's supposed to be like PT? Like, no, that starts with an A.
PT.
I can't remember what that's. Did you just say PT like you don't know what it is?
No. Maybe.
Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, it's just- so what about you, Shaun? What,
Jesus fucking Christ. So
tell me about Telltale.
we got, god damn it, never again. So one more thing, one more news item, and then we'll wrap it up. So, and this is a quick one. So Sean Bean is going to be in Hitman 2.
Who's Sean Bean?
God damn it.
Oh, Sean Bean.
Yeah.
I thought you said Sean B.
No, Sean Bean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's Sean Bean?
God damn it.
Wait, who's Sean B?
I don't know who Sean B is, but Sean Bean is in like a million things.
Yeah.
So many things. And he always dies every fucking time. If you see him, you know his character's going to die. It's an absolute certainty, which is why this is awesome. So he's going to be the first elusive target in the new Hitman game. So since he's a target, that means you're going to kill him because Sean Bean knows all he knows how to do is die. He dies in everything. Fun. If he could die twice, he would. In fact, I'm surprised he isn't dead in real life.
I just Googled it. I just Googled his name, and like one of the headlines is Sean Bean is tired of dying in movies and tired of video game.
Oh, so
he's
this could
Boromir.
mean one of two things. Either this will be where he turns it around and he doesn't die, or he's died so many times in movies that now he's going to die in video games.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just had the stupidest moment of my life. I was looking it up, and I was like, there's this poster of a creepy-looking, like, demon thing with a blue eye, and it says "God." And I'm like, oh my god, is this like an upcoming horror thing? And I look down, and it's Game of Thrones. I'm like,
wow.
Oh, hey, have you heard about this new thing that Sean Bean's going to be in called Game of Thrones? I'll just sit down.
I don't even have words.
But yeah, I know who you're talking about now. It's Boromir.
Yeah.
Fucked.
He always gets fucked. That's what they hire him for.
Spoilers, jeez.
Well, the term is called get Boromired.
Well, I'm just saying, if me talking about like a 5-year-old game is spoilers, then Sean Bean dying and everything is spoilers too.
That's not a spoiler. That's just a fact of life.
I know.
Sean Bean will die.
Anybody starts a Sean Bean movie from like 10 years ago, and as soon as they see Sean Bean, they're like, fuck, now I know how it ends.
Yeah.
Yep, he's gonna have his documentary, and guess what? At the end, fucking dead.
Oh my god, he's gonna die at the end. It's freaking like bibliography.
During the making of this documentary, Sean Bean has died.
It's tragedy. Oh no, god,
we put it in the movie because we had to.
Oh my god.
All the way to the end, everything he was in, he fucking died.
This is legacy.
Oh man.
Jesus. So one of these days, we're going to talk about survival horror. I've got things that we can talk about, but we always run behind and we never get to it. So next episode,
make it a 2-hour podcast.
We're gonna talk about some survival horror. Well, maybe I'll just cut down on the news items because I typically try to get like 3 or 4, and they all they go way longer than I anticipate them going, and it just ruins everything.
Just cut out Telltale.
Well, Telltale shouldn't be in the next episode. For the love of God, please, Telltale, fucking relax. Stop doing things.
Email them. Can you guys just stop making news? Just stop.
You guys fired everyone. Just take a minute, sit down, fucking calm down. Don't do anything, and we'll see you in a week.
Today's Telltale news. Go to telltale.com.
I mean, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, not 1 week. Fuck off.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Give us a month until Christmas.
You know what? Just January.
Just
wait
shut up.
until
Just
January.
shut up completely. Just don't come back.
Just go the fuck away. No one likes you anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of Columbine.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, damn.
No.
Wow. So, real quick updates. This will take just a second because there's not a ton to talk about right now. But, yeah. So, we're going into the final stretch of the Halloween event. Like I said before, I have more Survive This Clock Tower and Resident Evil 7 VR coming up. And I'm working on those couple of machinimas. So 2 machinimas and then a mystery video. Woo! So,
do I know what this is?
Nope, you don't.
Oh.
You're not in this one.
Even if I knew, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you would have no idea. But yeah, so keep an eye on the channel. More coming up soon. And that's it for updates. Do you guys
does?
have anything going on this week that people should know about? Any new videos, streams, projects, announcements, premeditated murders?
Well, my last video that I kept talking about was finally released, but you didn't mention that, so I wasn't sure if we were mentioning it.
I think you're supposed to mention it because it's your video.
It's on the Ward channel though.
Well-
I made a secret special thing for Shaun. He hadn't even seen it until he watched it, so that was good. Watch it.
Yeah, and it's so
Go
good.
watch it.
Go watch it. Go watch
Go
it.
watch it. Freaking
it's
awesome.
Go watch
It's
it 10 times. It's very good.
Seriously,
I'm not
go
in
watch
it. Spoiler alert.
It's true. It's true. Shayla's like, I'm in it.
I'm in it.
No, you're not. Quiet.
Yeah,
Quiet.
She thinks she is. I replaced her, but she doesn't.
Oh.
I didn't hear you in that video. What are you talking about?
She was Chris.
Oh, you're right. I can't
Maybe I
believe
did-
I didn't see it.
I was.
Shayla was Jill.
Yeah. I was.
Jazz, you
I
were
didn't-
Wesker,
I
right?
was voices.
No, I wasn't in it.
Oh.
I
I was the gunshot.
No,
The-
you were. She did Jill, but I was the bird noises. That was me.
Oh, okay.
It's not
kidding.
true.
Oh, you did the bird noises. Okay.
No, I.
It's
Well,
all coming
Go watch
together.
it and you'll know what the fuck we're talking about.
No, you won't,
Bird
because they're
noises.
all doing
They're like,
disguised
Chris
voices.
Wesker, bird noises? What the fuck?
Yeah. What the fuck is this video?
Are they smoking something?
Are they
It's
smoking
legal
the
now.
crack? Are they doing the drugs?
Captain, I can't see.
Smoked one marijuana and you're fucked.
Your life is over. Forget it. You smoked a joint, you've committed suicide.
No, one marijuana.
I mean,
Suicide.
sorry, one marijuana.
Suicide.
My bad.
What's happening?
I don't know. We're wrapping it up. That's what's happening.
Oh, like a Christmas present.
Yeah, it's like we'll wrap it in a pumpkin for Halloween, and you can
What?
you
You
can
can't-
open it for Christmas when it rots.
Throw it against the wall.
It's
Is this where I?
It's multi-level holiday shit. Wrap it up in a pumpkin. Open it for Christmas.
Wait, do I
I'm
get to talk about what I had planned?
What?
Do you have something planned, Shayla? Or
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
do
yeah,
have-
yeah. Tell us about it.
I was actually right now I'm trying to get people together to do a to kind of have like regular, at least for Halloween, to do regular live streams of Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight, like
Ooh.
to play. I guess the best place would probably hit. I mean, it'd be nice. Like, I mean, maybe even you two could come, but like, if we
Oh
could have-
wow.
Wow, I like that we're just like a fucking afterthought.
Maybe you guys can
Like,
show.
I want to get
Well-
a bunch of cool people involved, and I guess you guys can come if you want to.
Well, no,
If
you
you're not too busy doing a fucking podcast or
I
some
feel
shit.
so bad that Shayla finally gets out of Monster Hunter and we just shit on her.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, I want to do regular playings of Dead by Daylight. Fuck you!
It's so cute how she's trying to do things. Aww.
She called Monster
Okay,
Hunter
Sheila.
Dead by Daylight.
It's because when you play, you're basically dead by daylight
Yeah.
Damn, son.
to everybody.
But no, that sounds
But-
cool. I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
me too.
I have both of those games, and I want to play them both. Well, I'm currently playing one of them, so there
Good
we
luck
go.
getting a server for Friday 13th.
Oh no.
Well, we got 3 people here, and who knows who else.
Diz, Waffle.
Yeah, I got enough people kind of lined up too, so that I mean, it should be pretty easy for me to get enough people together. So, I kind of want to do that maybe like 6 Central Time on Saturday and Sunday evenings.
Damn.
Whoa, 2 days. Whoa.
Yeah. One doesn't.
That's a big commitment.
like- Well, the idea would be to maybe do like Dead by Daylight one and Friday 13 the other night. So
So,
And that would
are
be-
you talking like for an hour? Like, what's the time frame?
yeah, I'm thinking if we get enough people, I mean, I'm thinking like an hour, or if there's even maybe like if we play and there's still like some people who want to jump in, like people come to the stream and actually want to participate, we can kind of cycle out or something. It just sort of depends on, the turnout really. But yeah, at least an hour a night.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. What are the dates?
I want to do it on Saturday. This weekend, I'm going to do it more of a trial thing, so I'm not going to stream. I'm just going to kind of get some friends together. But I want to start next Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time on Twitch, on my Twitch channel, which is ShadowKitty777.
So the week of the Halloweeny.
Yes.
That's a good time to do it.
And I'm pretty sure Friday the 13th is free if you have PS Plus. So
is it still free?
The PS4. Yeah. It would be the PS4 version as well.
Perfect.
I won't be able to go at 6:30 next Saturday, but
maybe on Sunday.
I have a hockey game.
Okay.
Yeah,
what about Sunday?
We can do it Sunday.
Yeah, probably.
Ooh.
You hear the doubt in her voice? She's not.
I know.
But if you're listening to this and you want to download a good game, a free game, and you want to play with us, definitely do that.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will see you there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We will see you guys in the next episode on Monday.
Yay!
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.